Welcome back once again to our Advanced Telling Time module series. In this third module, we will explore the many ways of answering, "What time is it?" There are actually several ways to answer that question when you are asked. Here is an example. It is 1:15 p.m. It is 13:15 hours. It is 15 minutes past 1. It is 1:15. Each one of these answers is a completely valid way of describing the time shown on the clock. Each answer given is correct, so when you are told the time, you better know what is being said to you. Here's a guide to help you remember. Here is a clock face without numbers and without any hands on it. The one thing that you need to remember is that when the minute hand is pointed to the 12, we say that that is o'clock. In this case, the time shown is 5 o'clock. Here is the graphic again. Let's add the numbers to our analog clock face so that way it looks more natural. Here are the numbers. What is important to understand is when you are telling the time to someone who's asking, "What time is it?" you need to remember that the clock is divided into two different sections in this case. On the right hand side, between the 12 and the 6, we call that past. So, in this example, if the minute hand is pointing to the 4, we would say that it is 20 minutes past or after whatever hour is shown on the clock. So it's 20 minutes after 4, for instance. On the other side, between the 6 and the 12, we would call that 2. So in this case, the minute hand is pointing towards the 8. So we would say that it is 20 minutes to the next hour. So, for instance, it would be 20 minutes to 10. If the minute hand is pointed over between the 6 and the 12, we typically say that that is 2. And how we get there is we start at the number at the minute hand and count up towards the 12. And that will tell us how many minutes are left in the hour. And we would say, in this case, it would be 20 minutes to 3 o'clock, for instance. Let's try some examples. In this case, the minute hand is pointing to the 2. It is showing 10 minutes. So it is in the past half of the clock face. We would say in this case it is 10 minutes past 5. Here's another example. We would say in this case, because the minute hand is between 12 and 6, that it is 20 minutes past or 20 minutes after 6. Here's another example. This time, the minute hand is pointing directly at the 3. We know that the clock face is divided into quarters and the half. So when it's pointing at 3, that is actually 15 minutes, which is a quarter of an hour. In this case, we would say it is 8:15. 8:15. In this case, we would say it is 11:15, because remember, we're going towards the next hour when the minute hand is on the left hand side between the 6 and the 12. we would say here it is 15 minutes to 11, or it is quarter to 11. Here is another one of those tricky almost at the hour examples. In this case, we would say that it is 5 minutes to 6. Starting at the 11, counting 5 minutes to make the rest of the hour, it's 5 minutes to 6. We would never say it is 55 minutes past 6. It just sounds awkward. However, some people do it. So you have to keep on your toes. When you think about how to say the time, consider the following questions. Is the minute hand between the 12 and the 6? Notice how it's the green color here. If so, then you can say it's however many minutes past or after the hour. But in this case, is the minute hand between the 6 and the 12 on the orange side? Yes, it is. So in this case, we would say it is 5 minutes to or before 6. So 5 minutes to 6 or 5 minutes before 6. Here is another example. Ask yourself, is the minute hand between the 12 and the 6? If it is, then you say however many minutes after or past the hour. Is the minute hand between 6 and 12? Then say however many minutes to or before the hour. Now, in our case here, the clock is showing that it is actually 5 minutes after 5, or 5 minutes past 5. It is very awkward to say that it is 55 minutes to the hour. Most people wouldn't say that. Sometimes, once again, the hour hand looks like it is already pointing to an hour. In this case, the hour hand seems to be pointing at the 9 already. But be careful. Look at the minute hand. It is showing 55 minutes. If it were actually 9:55, it would be almost 10 o'clock. Here is where you need to think. If I have 55 minutes already, in 5 more minutes it will be an hour. So it can't possibly be 9 o'clock yet. But it is almost 9. It is 8:55, or 5 minutes to 9. Just be careful. You are now finished part 3 of our advanced time-telling module series. Please feel free to continue on to module 4, our last module, Time Math. Thanks again for watching.